You've heard of unconditional love, but have you heard of the secret to unconditional happiness and allowing more into your life? More wealth, more success, and more love. More freedom in your life right now. Welcome to the Happy Bar with Israel Savage.
Question,
Yeah.
Israel. So I'm wondering if you can talk a little more about how to reroute yourself when you're putting pressure on yourself. I know that pressure is resistance, and I know from having, listened to you that directing your attention to things that make you feel good and doing things that make you feel good that are small accomplishments will build momentum. Mm-hmm. However, it can be really overwhelming feeling, like what Adam was saying, comparing yourself to somebody else. And logically, I definitely understand the GPS analogy. But I find myself getting into places where I just am frustrated that I'm not seeing more accomplishment.
Gotcha. And I would say don't go to those places. And what I mean by that is, if scrolling through your Facebook feed brings up feelings of happiness and joy, then continue to do that. If scrolling up through your Facebook feed brings up feelings of less than and lack and envy and things that don't feel good, no judgment about those emotions, they're just things that don't feel as good, then don't do that. Doesn't mean you can't ever do that. But it means now in this moment, your emotional guidance system is working like it's supposed to and is saying, hey, not now. Because if you do it now, the results that you are going to get are going to feel just like that feeling place that you're in now. And so the way that I used to work, and one of the reasons why I wanted to change my own belief system, is I used to work, crank it out until there was just bodies all around me of exhausted people, and mine being one of them. And right, okay, gosh. And there's some kind of a special star award I got for that, right? And it didn't feel good. And so the results I got it done, but oh my gosh, what a price I paid to get it done. And now my belief system is different. And so if I don't feel good, then I don't do the task. Now, it doesn't mean I don't ever do the task, but it means I'm going to pay attention to how I'm feeling first. I'm going to take care of how I'm feeling. I'm going to soothe myself into a better feeling place, and then I'll do the task. Now, some of you might say, well, will you ever do the task? Maybe you're just going to lay around all day and you'll never get anything done. And we just don't operate that way. Because the truth is, more than likely, eventually laying around all day is not going to feel good any longer. And then you'll do something else. You'll take action. You'll take action at the appropriate time instead of trying to force things. And so I would say the primary focus is always on how you feel and reaching for the better and better feeling thing. And knowing that there's no shame in acknowledging that right now I can't pick up that topic. Because when you pick any topic up, it's always two subjects, the having of it and the not having of it. And whichever is your more practiced vibration, your more practiced way of thinking, that's what you pick up. That's what you start to think about. Pick up the topics where your practice vibration, where your thoughts are trained in such a way that it feels good about that topic first. And when you're in a better feeling place, after you've thought about topics that feel good, then start to soothe out and smooth out topics that don't.
Well, I see it in two contexts. Like there are some things in my life I can't steer myself away from, like work. And I find, if I pull back, the goals that I have to get out of, the job I'm in and find, a job in writing or acting, I find myself taxed at the end of the day to do all of my creative things, including looking for a job. And I also feel like I'm a little overwhelmed to look for a job. And I feel the same with my writing, that I want to dive back in. And I find, I've had over the last several weeks, like feelings of excitement to write, yet I'm not writing. So I'm just trying the two plays that I'm talking about in particular. I am writing other things, but I'm just trying to step back and say, well, that's great that I had those feelings and not try to put anything more on it. Because I think, I get in that place where I'm like, well, why aren't you working? You should have picked it up again.
Yeah.
And that's not helpful, obviously.
Yeah, well, I think what you said is exactly spot on. And listen, and I just want to offer this. You can't mess it up. You truly can't. And so you could get so fed up with your job that you just quit, or that you just get so fed up with your job that I'm just going to look for another job. No matter what, I'm just going to look for another job, right? But can you see how that journey is not a feel-good journey? And so what I can promise you is that the job that you get after this one, it's like Whitney Houston saying, you can run from yourself, but there's no place to hide. You're going to take you into that new job, and you're going to take your practiced habit of vibration into that new job. Now, you can get the new job and you can take that path, but I want to offer that maybe if you can smooth out the place that you are now, and change, really embrace the idea that we can be unconditionally happy, right? That our life, our emotions doesn't have to depend on conditions. If you can find what it is in your job that you love, and maybe make a list of positive aspects of your job, and start to train that, okay, and see if you can grow that. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to stay there, because this isn't about, you're not going to take this job with you your whole life, but you are going to take you with you your whole life. And so let's work on raising your vibration by focusing on the things that you do like at your job, so that while you're there, it can feel better. And what you're going to do for yourself, the gift you'll give to yourself, is an easier journey. Things will line up for you because you are in a better feeling place. You're going to get better feeling results. And I'll share this with you. I know you guys have had things that have happened like this as well. And this happens to me all the time, and more lately. I was coming back from the holidays, and it was the bombogenesis. What is that called? The big storm. And so all the flights had been canceled. Now I had to get back to teach a class and do all kinds of things. But instead of putting myself in a place of fear, I really decided to just go with the flow and just know that everything is always working out for me. And I decided that the experience of the journey and feeling good along the way was going to be more important to me than hanging on to a result, to hanging on to the way I wanted things to happen. That I wanted to enjoy every step of the way, just for fun. And so as it turned out, I did. I decided to enjoy every step of the way. I didn't know if I'd be back in time, if I'd have to cancel classes, if I'd have to get a substitute, what would happen. Well, as it turns out, every flight was canceled up until my flight when I got to the airport. And I thought, oh, great, everything's working out for me. And that was what I held on to, that feeling. I pulled up at, I have a couple kids and a lot of suitcases, and it was just me. And then we pulled up at the curb. There was nobody out there at the outside check-in to help. And my first thought was, uh-oh, here's where it's about to fall apart right here. And then I thought, no, you know what? Everything's working out for me. And sure enough, a guy ran from inside, helped me get my luggage, and helped me with the kids. And that's never happened to me before. In security, we went through security, and the person pointed me to a conveyor belt where there was nobody. And we went right through. We got through. It was the fastest. Because all the flights were canceled, there were no lines, because mine was the first one. And so things started to unfold and unfold and unfold that way. Everything was working out for me, and I felt the feelings of that. And then I sat down on the flight, and there was a woman who needed help with her luggage. And normally I don't talk to the person next to me on the flight. I just focus on my kids. But I just felt drawn to talk to her. And I thought, everything's working out for me, so let me lean into this impulse. And we started talking. And she said she was going to interview for a job as a professor of English at Ithaca. And my wife has a friend who just became the president of a college, and I wasn't sure which one. They're kind of best friends. And my wife had just gone to the inauguration. I didn't know which one. But I did know how the universe works. And I knew looked over to my daughter and I said, what college is that Shirley's a president of? And my daughter said, Ithaca. And I was like, oh, well, you might meet the president of the college. Here, you should this and this. And you should have seen this woman's eyes just get this big and light up, right? And do you see how she couldn't have planned that rendezvous? And she said it was amazing. All the flights were canceled except this one. And I can't believe I'm sitting next to you and here, and this has been such a great conversation. And as we got off, and it felt good to be a part of her experience in that way. And as we got off, the guy in front of us said, I was eavesdropping on our conversation and said, I heard you mention Ithaca. I'm from Ithaca. And I heard you mention improvisation. My daughter wants an improvisation class. She's been looking here. I was like, hi, daughter. It's nice to meet you. And so things started to unfold that way. And that's the magic of living. And that's an ease. And that's the delight of discovery. Don't you like discoveries like that when things line up? Have you had things like that happen for you where it just seemed like coincidence? Has everybody experienced that? The more you notice it and appreciate it, the more it happens. The journey and how you experience it is so important. And so if you can massage that out for yourself now, I think that's the real point of the experience. So that when you go to this next position, which you inevitably will, I mean, is there any doubt? Is there any doubt you're going to have everything you want? No, not from where I'm standing as someone objective. So there's no doubt. And so why not enjoy where you are now? And why not prepare yourself? Why not get ready to be ready? Get ready to be ready. And get ready to be ready for everything that you want.
If you liked what you just heard, then take inspired action now. That's right, act while you are feeling good. And build on your momentum. Schedule your free discovery call with me at instudios-nyc.com/happybar.